Well, today we are where we are, which is at another terrible moment in this pandemic. And this Congress must act. We have record-breaking numbers of deaths, of diagnoses of people with COVID-19, of hospitals unable to accommodate even more people. And in the midst of this pandemic, obviously, we are also in a severe economic meltdown. And there are economists who are telling us that the desperation of working families in this country today, right now, is worse than at any time since the Great Depression. In Vermont and all over this country, we have workers who have lost their jobs and their income, people who are by the millions behind in their rent and are afraid of being evicted, afraid of losing their homes, people who have lost their health insurance, unable to go to a doctor. In the midst of a terrible pandemic, they don't have health insurance, can't go to a doctor when they get sick. And what we are seeing today is a record number of Americans who are struggling literally with hunger, unable to feed their kids. I know in Vermont and all over this country, there are lines of automobiles, cars of people who would never receive governmental help in line for emergency bags of groceries. That is what is going on in this country today. Now, back in March, in the beginning of the pandemic, this Congress came together, Democrats and Republicans and President Trump came together and virtually unanimously passed a CARES Act, $2.2 trillion, which, among many other features, provided a $600 supplement to unemployment benefits for 4 months and $1,200 direct payments for every working-class adult in this country, plus $500 for their children. And here is the truth, is that program, that CARE program, saved lives, gave dignity to people who were at their wits' end, and saved this economy from further downfall. Well, today we are where we are, which is at another terrible moment in this pandemic. And this Congress must act. We cannot leave here to go home to our families for the Christmas holidays while other families throughout this country by the millions are wondering how they're going to pay the rent or feed their kids. We cannot do that. And I'm proud to say that Senator Hawley from Missouri and I have worked together on a pretty simple amendment, and he'll be talking about it in a second, which says that we must include in any legislation that is passed a direct payment of $1,200 for adults and $500 for kids. We must not leave Washington unless we do that. And next week, I am going to do everything that I can to make sure that that happens. We will not leave Washington unless we make certain that millions of families have the economic assistance that they need.